Welcome into another edition of the Rocky Top Rundown, your one-stop shop for all things Tennessee athletics. I'm Gabriella Genero.
And I'm Ryan Sylvia.
Tennessee football is the best it's been in a long time, and expectations only continue to rise. Remaining at ranked 8th in the nation, the Volunteers look to keep their winning ways against the LSU Tigers.
It won't be an easy task, however. The Tigers are now ranked 25th in the nation after their victory over Auburn, and according to ESPN's matchup predictor, is estimated to be a 60-40 split in LSU's favor. If the Vols want to walk out of Baton Rouge with the win, here's what we think they'll have to do to remain undefeated. For me, a Tennessee win on Saturday will need to begin with a fast start offensively. Last year, the Vols were the best team in the country during the opening quarter, scoring 14.7 points in the first frame. However, this year, they've struggled to open games, falling to 17th in the country at 10.3 points per game. It will be necessary for Tennessee to grab an early lead and force LSU to play from behind. If the Vols can get out to a fast start, it may hush a rowdy Tigers crowd as well. Tennessee will also need to tighten up in its defensive secondary. Currently, the Vols are sitting at 95th in the country in yards given up per play. A key reason for this is a secondary that has struggled to prevent big plays. Teams are converting on 3rd and 4th downs to keep drives alive and put pressure on the offense. Tennessee's shorthanded defensive back unit will need to limit big plays, especially to star wide receiver Kayshon Boutte. Finally, Bru McCoy needs to step up at wide receiver. With Cedric Tillman likely out for a second straight game, McCoy will need to continue his impressive play. Against Florida, he totaled 102 yards on 5 catches and a touchdown. He also connected on a crucial 70-yard gain to set up the Vols for a score. The transfer from USC has already proved he's capable of playing at an elite level, but it will need to continue in Baton Rouge. Fellow wideouts Jalen Hyatt and Ramel Keaton will also need to support him throughout the game, just like they did against the Gators.
Tennessee needs to step it up in the run game. In this past game against Florida, Jabari Small and Jalen Wright combined for only 115 yards on 29 carries. And as we start to get into these serious SEC matchups, that's not going to do it. So we are going to have to see Tennessee's ground game really pick things up here in the next week. Jabari Small has had some issues with injuries, but hopefully this bye week helped give him a chance to recover and he will be prepared for the game on Saturday. Next, I think Tennessee has got to step it up on passing defense. In the Vols game against Florida, Anthony Richardson really took advantage of the lack of effort from the quarterbacks and threw for 453 yards. And while LSU has been struggling with its passing game, this is something the Vols definitely need to clean up by the Alabama game the following weekend. And lastly, Tennessee's offense has got to get better at converting on the 3rd down. So far this year, out of 51 attempts, the Vols have only converted on 23 of them. However, the defense is looking pretty good when it comes to stopping conversions on the 3rd down. In the past game against Florida, out of 15 attempts, the Gators were only able to convert on 7 of them.
Tennessee just seems to attract greatness in any sport offered on campus, and tennis is no different. The grad transfer Boris Kozlov is lighting the collegiate tennis world on fire with his dominant singles performances and is only looking for more success. To hear more on his incredible season, here's a report from Scott Nappy.
Hello, I'm standing outside University of Tennessee's tennis program building right here. We have a graduate student this year, Boris Kozlov, who transferred from LSU this season, and we are still in preseason, but currently Boris and several other members of the Tennessee men's tennis team is currently competing at the Intercollegiate Tennis Association. Boris made day 2 of the qualifying rounds, and we still haven't heard about an update from that. However, Boris is 6-2 this year in his first 8 singles matches, including 1 ranked opponent, and including 5 of his 6 wins have come in straight sets. This year, Boris is hoping to really bring an impact to the men's tennis team as well as the University of Tennessee. I'm Scott Nappy, and thank you very much.
Thanks, Scott.
What better way is there of showing off your Lady Vol pride than wearing some merch? Well, we got you covered. Orange Mountain Designs, a store dealing with all things Lady Vols, has moved out of Alcoa and into Kingston Pike. It's never been easier to support the Lady Vols in fashion. With more on the store, a report from Jazz Powell.
Orange Mountain Designs is an official provider of Lady Vol gear, founded by owner Terry Holder. She started this company in honor of her dear friend Pat Summit, who told her to work hard to give women the same opportunities as men. That is exactly what she is doing, as her store has turned into an NIL opportunity for a lot of Lady Vols. Recently, Terry added another store to her collection in Knoxville and had a grand opening where fans could come shop and meet the Lady Vols basketball team. Her company does booster clubs, basketball camps, autograph signing, Lady Vol jersey shirts, and more. Terry has also worked to become the first company to sign all athletes on one team, and has added others such as Malloy, Davis, Ayala, and Rogers from the softball team, Peyton from the softball team, and Jada Thomas from the soccer team. Orange Mountain Designs continues to create opportunities for women, just as Pat Summit would have wanted in the fight for equity in sports.
Thanks, Jazz. You know, I think I need some new drip.
I think you do too, Ryan. Well, everyone, there is always plenty of sports and big matchups going on here on Rocky Top. If you can't keep up with it all, don't worry, you can join us again next week for all the updates you need.
Until then, get out and support the Vols this week. For myself, Gabriella, and all of our crew here, thanks for watching, and we will see you next week.
Jazz, did I say your last name wrong? Is it Powell? Yeah. Okay. That's what I